Good morning and welcome to the Lynn Lowdown. I'm Danny Vittori, and today we have on the President and CEO of Junior Achievement of Greater Boston. Thank you for coming on the show this morning.
Thank you for having me.
Would you mind just introducing yourself a little bit and talking about how long you've been the CEO?
Yeah, my name is Radhames Nova, and I've been the CEO of Junior Achievement of Greater Boston for close to 8 years now.
Great. So for anyone who maybe isn't familiar with the program, you do have a presence in Lynn, but for people who may not know that much about you, what's your main purpose, goal?
Yeah, Junior Achievement is a nonprofit organization that was founded over 100 years ago in Springfield, Massachusetts, and has now grown to serve young people across the United States and about 100 countries globally. The mission of Junior Achievement is to inspire and prepare young people to succeed in a global economy. And we do that by exposing young people to realistic, experiential experiences that supplement their academics. Some of those experiences expose them to the idea of entrepreneurship and starting a business. Others are focused on personal finance and how you manage your finances. And one that has become more and more important is work readiness. How do you determine a career for the future? How do you get ready for yourself and your family to do well moving forward in your career?
And you currently serve here, the local Chapter 9 communities. And why has Lynn become such a focus?
Yeah, Lynn is one of our 9 impact communities because a few years ago we realized that if we're going to make the impact that we want to make, we cannot try to serve every community that's assigned to us by the national organization. We serve about half of Massachusetts and the whole state of New Hampshire. So with a small staff, we decided to really become more intentional and focus on communities where there's the biggest impact, where we can help young people really find their success through our programming and our curriculum. So Lynn is one of those 9 communities. The others are Boston and a number of other gateway cities in Greater Boston, but we really just want to become more intentional and try to amplify our impact in those communities.
And one thing I'm curious about, too, you mentioned some of the programs, communities. You start with the kids as early as elementary school, go up to high school. Why start so young?
Well, we have traditionally been K-12 serving, and we have started young for the idea of planting seeds early, especially in communities like Lynn, where young people perhaps may not be hearing about personal finance or careers at home. But actually, our chapter of Junior Achievement, part of our shift has been to more towards a middle school to career pathway, with the idea that if students in middle school are a little bit older, a little more prepared to learn about potential careers, about their personal finance. And so we're currently shifting from K-12 to middle school to career.
Okay. And one thing you did recently was this very large career fair, which looked fascinating.
Yeah, it's called J-Inspire, and so it's basically an opportunity for middle school students from the region to, one, think about themselves and their interests and what they may want to pursue as a career in the future, and then it culminates in a very interactive career exploration day at the Heinz Convention Center in Boston, where they will come into the center and meet with about 60 employers from different industries to talk to them, to learn about their industries, their companies, and talk to employees of these companies about how they got to where they are, what they do for a living, and it's done in a fun, engaging, interactive way so that the students can hopefully be inspired to identify a potential career for the future.
It did. It definitely looked like it. It looked like one student was even wearing VR headset, so it did. It looked very interactive and very cool.
Yeah, we ask our exhibitors to make sure that they demonstrate their business rather than tell the students through a piece of paper or a flyer, because at that age in middle school, students will remember more and experience than they will a flyer or a message about their company. And so our exhibitors have really come in with a lot of fun, engaging activities that demonstrate their business and their industry.
And one of the things that you mentioned, too, you're engaging middle school, high school students. A big piece of that is also engaging the educators, getting them involved. And how do you work with them?
Well, we do most of our programming through the school districts in these communities. We work with central office usually to make sure the superintendent and their staff understands the value we bring to the students. And then we work with the teachers and the principals at schools to actually incorporate Junior Achievement curriculum into the school day so that students are experiencing our programming during the school day, as well as taking on some of those experiential learning opportunities to come out of school, out of the classroom, and learn by doing like J-Inspire. We also just recently hosted a JA Stock Market Challenge where high school students learned what the stock market is, why do we invest our retirement accounts for the future. And they actually had a chance not only to learn in content, but they actually went to Boston and participated in a simulation where they had to buy and sell stocks to try to grow their portfolio. And so the whole idea of junior achievement is that we don't want to lecture, we want to teach, but we also want students to think on their feet, to put on, the hat of an adult for the day, and to make decisions like we all have to do daily.
And another piece of that too is, you even just mentioned it before we came on air, high school students got the chance to start their own business, and they're going to be pitching it actually.
Right. Actually, later this afternoon, we have our regional pitch competition. So for over 100 years, Junior Achievement has been teaching high school students how to launch and operate their own startup businesses. And some of these young people will become entrepreneurs and business owners in the future. But even those that don't, if you think about it, you're in high school, you're working with other high school students, you're coming up with a product, you're designing the product, you're coming up with a marketing strategy, you're learning how to do the financials of the company, you're selling that product to your friends, family at school. So there's a lot of skills that are being developed within this program that allow young people to be ready for any career pathway that they may choose in the future.
And I'll ask, you said not everyone will become maybe a business person, entrepreneur, and that's all right, but what other skills do they learn beyond that could help them in any career that they choose?
Yeah, a lot of it is transferable skills. So we don't do a ton of educating students on any particular industry or skill set. It's showing up. It's how do you dress professionally? How do you address your counterparts, your colleagues? How do you write an email professionally? A lot of the things that we can use in any industry. The idea is to help these young people become well-rounded. They're already getting the academics training at school. What we're trying to do is to get them ready for life through these experiential learning opportunities that expose them to real-world challenges that they have to solve for themselves. Like I said, they almost become an adult for that day because they're taking on challenges that adults take on all the time.
They're really getting that forward-thinking experience, and you've already met with some of the schools, like you mentioned St. Mary's in Lynn, Lynn English, those places, really getting in there and seeing what the students are interested in as well.
Yeah, a lot of the schools have a lot of goals to teach their students about certain things like financial literacy, but they may not have the curriculum or the expertise to do that. So what we bring to the table is a curriculum that's been developed at a national level from educators that aligns with the Common Core educational standards for Massachusetts. And then we also bring in the business community to provide those lessons to the students so that they're not only gaining the knowledge, but they're also gaining some role models. They can see someone who can come in and say, hey, I grew up in Lynn and I now work for a bank, or I now work for an insurance company, or I now work for a healthcare company. So a lot of it is in addition to the content and the learnings, is how do we put professionals in front of young people so that they can strive to be similar, maybe go in a similar situation, a similar career path as they have.
And it helps them even build their network too at a young age, like you said, meet professionals in the industry and get connected with them.
It is, and actually one of our newest initiatives is we've started recently to support our alumni. So these are young people who participated in Junior Achievement throughout high school. They graduate high school, they go off to college or whatever they decide to do. And we're actually starting to place them in paid internships at great companies. And some of those internships are leading to full-time jobs. And so we've actually had a student from Lynn who got a full-time summer paid internship at a company called Voya Financial through Junior Achievement, and is able to earn income over the summer, but also more importantly, gain experiences that can allow that student to realize, do I want to be in this industry, or do I want to maybe think about a different industry? So we're now moving towards placing more and more of our alumni in career opportunities to connect them to our network.
Which is another huge piece of it too. They get an idea of, is this something I'd be interested in doing at an even younger age, so that they're not just, like you said, going to college or a trade and then deciding later on, oh no, wait, I want to switch. Right.
Yeah. There's three kind of buckets of economic mobility that we're focused on. One is exposure, right? So I mentioned J-Inspire. We're exposing these young people to different careers. The next one is exploration. In high school, they explore different opportunities like the stock market challenge. They participate in our company program. They can start a business. And then as they're getting a little bit older is the experience. Can we help them gain that first career experience, whether it's an internship or an entry-level job, that can lead to a great career for themselves. Hopefully they earn better income and they can bring it back to their families, to their communities. So those are the three kind of building blocks of economic mobility that Junior Achievement of Greater Boston is really trying to bring to Lynn and to the other communities that we've selected as our impact communities in the region.
Definitely. And I have to wrap up in a moment, but one of the things you mentioned was volunteers. You rely so heavily on them. So how would people get involved if they were interested?
Yeah, that's a great question. A lot of our programs are delivered by corporate volunteers, so we have great relationships with local employers or regional employers that may have a presence or an interest in Lynn. They can reach out to us either directly through their company, or if you, as an individual, you want to volunteer, you can reach out to Junior Achievement on our website. And we always have opportunities in Lynn and surrounding areas for volunteering. The other call to action would be to the educators in Lynn. If you are interested in bringing Junior Achievement to your schools, we are happy to come in. We're eager to serve your students, and there's no cost to you, to the students, to the school. We raise our own funds from private investors to bring you these programs to your students at no cost.
Which is, it all sounds so fantastic and amazing. And as I said, is there anything else that you wanted to mention before I need to wrap up?
No, just thank you for the opportunity. I want to thank the community of Lynn for welcoming Junior Achievement here. We know that we can help the young people from the city hopefully have a brighter future by partnering with you in supplementing their academics with our key career readiness programming, entrepreneurship, personal finance experiences. So we look forward to continuing to partner and seeing more young people from Lynn, rise to the top and do better for themselves.
Great, definitely. And I said, thank you again for coming on to share all of these amazing, as you said, experiential learning techniques that you have. And once again, I'm Danny Vittori. This has been the Lynn Lowdown, and we'll see you next week with more guests.